right, joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rufai. We have been covering these end bad governance in Nigeria protests. We are seeing that our youth are out there, and they have absolutely stated their demands clearly, which I will read. But at the moment, I believe that the police has fired tear gas in Abuja. Yesterday, we saw operatives of the Rapid Response Squad of the Lagos Police Command, where they displayed a full display of might ahead of the end bad governance in Nigeria protests. The armed officers were seen jogging and singing in full armour as they marched to different locations, as we will see in this now viral video.
Show of force, no shaking.
In full armor. But Nigerians are saying, are we at war? I mean, we are seeing these people out here. I believe we have a live shot at this moment. I don't know where this is. Is this in Ikeja at the moment? This is in Ikeja at the moment. Let's see what's happening here. All right. Well, you know, also, meanwhile, yesterday we saw that the Lagos State Police Command anti-bomb squad said that it had deactivated an improvised explosive device in the Ikeja area of the state. Hudeyin said that, a vigilant police officer reported that a young man had come out of a car and dropped a bag by the side of the Nigeria Customs Service Federal Operations Unit's fence, after which he returned to the vehicle and sped off. The area then was immediately cordoned off, while IED experts were deployed to the spot. I mean, Aya, what does this signify to you? I mean, it sounds really scary at the moment.
Very scary, very serious, but interesting, still sketchy details in terms of how, the bomb squad helped to detonate that bomb, and then maybe further investigations. I know around that area, we have some security cameras that had been installed by this administration, Lagos State government. So it'll be great to see, because it's beyond this happening. Number one, it will be good to investigate the motive for that. Is it as part of the protest, or the people, one of those people that were touted to want to hijack the peaceful protest of the people? It will be really great to understand that. Then going back to the first clip with the policemen showing strength and force that was on Admiralty Way in Lekki, here in Lagos State. And again, going back to that conversation on motive, what was the reason for doing that? And I want to believe that the reason they came out was to show the hijackers that they were serious about business and they were going to protect the protesters and that nothing must happen to them, because that is the job of the police, not to be seen to be against the people, but to be on the side of the people. As many people have said, part of what the people are asking for, are calling for, is also on behalf of the police.
Yes, absolutely.
When we went to one of the states, I think Bayelsa State, one of the placards was like they were advocating for increased remuneration for the police. So it would be great to know that that show of force was not for the protesters, but for the hijackers, that if you try anything and, try to disturb the protesters, are going to come for you.
That's a solid point, Ayo. Also, I believe you guys all spoke with Nisi Gabriel, who is our correspondent in Kaduna. He had debunked this news where the Kaduna spokesperson, Masir Hassan, yesterday had said that over 25,000 security personnel were deployed to strategic flash points in the state to ensure law and order during these protests. But apparently, I've heard now that it's only 2,500 policemen that have been deployed in Kaduna. How did the police officer misspeak? I mean, what was the motive to that? 25,000 police officers. Do they even have that amount of police officers in the north at the moment? And he also said that, these police, not just police officers, he said that there will be military men, there will be, security personnel, all attached to the unit in Kaduna State.
I mean, so I think the most important thing is being able to clarify. I said it was 2,500 he meant to write, but I think he just added one more zero to the back, and
he added one more zero.
Maybe mistakenly added one more zero to the back, and it became 25,000. Just to boost it up. But Nisi has been able to clarify it, and things are pretty much cool. I mean, the governor of Obasanjo had been, talking to people and all of that in the state, but in other parts, I think. For the police officers that were doing the show of force, I know they were instructed to, but the truth has to be said. You are doing show of force against people that are protesting about how deplorable your wages are and how low the standard of living for our police officers have been. I got a call yesterday from a police officer that was telling me about the police cooperative, how it's not centralized, how they make deductions from them, and it's very difficult when they want to get their money back. Our Nigerian police live in a deplorable way. They live on slave-like wage. The minimum wage as we speak today is slave-like. Oji, you go to America. What can $45 buy you? If you want to buy a good meal in New York City, can you buy for $45? Can you? If you even go to some place, you want to buy a good gourmet burger, by the time you spend buy 2 or 3 burgers, won't you have finished $45?
Yeah.
That's the minimum wage in Nigeria today.
Yeah.
That's the deplorable way. And what are people protesting against, Oji? Bad governance, which the president has shown largely. 2 policies that affect the life of people. You are saying we should tighten our belt. At the same time, you want to buy private presidential jets. You bid 21 billion worth of vice presidential lodge. You gave the senators 160 million supplementary budget. Now you've gone back to the National Assembly. And 160 million to buy cars in supplementary. Now you go back to the National Assembly, you want to become more reckless by saying that the Senate should help you increase ways and means from 5% to 15%. Yeah. We are seeing insecurity everywhere. We are seeing massive poverty. The food you've given out to people not knowing what to write them about because they are rebuying the food. Yes. Humanitarian ministry, you've not settled out the case. Billions of naira, we don't know where the money is gone for. There's corruption everywhere in this country. There's avarice, there's chaos. Yes. That's why people are on the streets.
You know what? I think the biggest thing to take out here is that, the people are wanting to hear from the president. Yesterday, the Lagos State governor actually addressed Lagosians. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Protest the practical catalyst for progress the nation requires at this time. Will such a protest suddenly ensure that all of our challenges disappear in 10 days? Will the protest suddenly ensure that the prices of foodstuff dropped on the 11th day? Will shutting down the economy for 10 days inspire an economic growth we all earnestly desire? I hold a strong view that a protest at this time will do none of these things for us as a nation. Rather, it would roll back the modest gain that we have made in previous facets of our social economic life as a people and as a state.
All right, Dr. Abati, I heard you refer to this earlier, and I would love for you to talk about it. But before you do that, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has also cautioned Igbo people to stay away from the nationwide protest. Let's take a look.
Igbos, stay away. Igbos, stay in your houses. You'll be used as an scapegoat. They will target you and they will waste you. Igbos, we have died enough. Our blood has filled the street enough. Allow those who feel they can do it, let them go and do it. We'll be strong enough. For this protest, let us be weak. Now, let those ones who are strong, let them stand on the street. Igbos, be weak now to sit at home. If there's any sit at home that will be effective, not the one you have done on Mondays, let it be the one that will happen at this protest. As one of the leaders of this country, as one of the leaders from the southeastern region, that you love and you have confidence in, I am telling you, if you have never shown weakness before, let it be shown now. Igbos, we have shown strength in civil war. We have shown strength in agitation. We have shown strength in fighting for IPOB and Masob and all the rest of them. In sitting at home, please be weak now. Because they were looking for opportunity to slaughter you. Sit at home.
They are looking for opportunity to slaughter. I know you want to speak, but I want to give Dr. Abati the opportunity to speak on some of the stories that we have discussed.
I said in the morning, when I was doing the review of the reactions, from the states. Basically, that almost all the state governors have called for calm, they've called for peace, whether it's in Kwara, Kogi, Yobe, Zamfara, in Kano, where the protesters are now also on the streets. The governor, Abba Yusuf, also said, well, the people can protest, but please just make sure you are peaceful. In Bayelsa, Governor Doye Diri told people to go to work. In Imo State, we understand there is no protester on the street, And then you have Lagos State. Ogun went to court, got an ex parte order. Kwara went to court, got an ex parte order. But in Lagos, Governor Sanwo-Olu took the additional step of addressing the people in a 20-minute televised address yesterday, basically appealing to the people. And what interests me in his presentation are the questions that he asked. He said, okay, is it the protest that will bring down the price of foodstuffs? Or does it mean that after 10 days protest, on the 11th day, people will suddenly discover that things have changed? They may be rhetorical questions, but he's raising those questions because he knows where the shoe pinches. He was governor in 2020 when you had the NSAS protests. All the vehicles, the BRT vehicles, brand new, that he had, his administration had procured and put on the roads. Most of them were destroyed. Over 50 were destroyed. Police stations were destroyed. Lekki Tollgate, it was his government's responsibility to fix all the things that were destroyed. Not to even talk of the compensation, the panel that was set up, and all of that. So my own concern is that what Governor Sanwo-Olu did, sets an example for President Tinubu. President Tinubu should have been the one to seize the initiative to talk to the people, either yesterday or this morning. And he's just sending secretary to government of federation, ministers. Nigeria is at a point now where you don't delegate certain things. So I think for President Tinubu, it's a missed opportunity, for him not to have addressed the people. Benjamin Kalu talking and saying Igbos, this and that. Well, he's just expressing an opinion. He's not in a position to dictate to people what they should do. He can only advise. So the fact that he's an Igbo man and is a deputy speaker in the House of Reps, it does not make him superior to any other Igbo man. But what we know is that in Imo and other parts of the Southeast, people are sitting at home. Absolutely. So please, Benjamin Kalu shouldn't get carried away because of the position he occupies.
All right.
He can only advise the people to obey the rule of law. That is what is important.
All right. I believe at this moment, Rufai, we have Oba Adeoye live in Ikeja. Oba, how are you? Bring us up to speed. What's really going on right now?
Yes, we are no longer in Ikeja. We are right now at OjyOkpe bus stop because the protesters were coming from Ikeja and they are going to the Gani Fawehinmi Freedom Park here in OjyOkpe. It's just a stone throw away from here. So it has been a long walk for the protesters, and of course you can see the security agencies too, coming behind them and going ahead of them. So it has been a very peaceful protest so far, and there's no form of any disruption. We saw residents who have decided not to join the protest, but they came out in solidarity with the protesters. But the security men have really comported themselves in ways that is expected of them, that there has not been any confrontation between the protesters and, of course, the police and other security agencies that are represented here.
Okay, real quickly, Oba, so they are taking this procession and they're going all the way to the park in OjyOkpe, probably around the Gani Fawehinmi Park. So we'll see proceedings there. Maybe we'll come back to you as regards what is going on there when they finally get there. So you'll join us later. Pale, keep losing the calories. Keep burning the calories, my brother. Keep the walk alive. Thank you.
I believe we have to go to Tokunbo Oyetunji, who is standing in right now. Tokunbo, bring us up to speed. Where are you at the moment?
Yeah, thanks, Oji. We are still at the Gani Fawehinmi Park, Freedom Park here in OjyOkpe, where we reported much earlier in the day within the premises of that park here in Ojota, one of the 2 designated centers for the protest today. If I can see just one of the protesters right by my side, carrying his a placard here stating some of the things that they want. But the issue really is that, as I'm here, you can see, the premises here is a bit deserted because the crowd of protesters. If my camera can just pan to that place, the crowd has grown from a few people that we saw earlier, bigger now, and they're growing. But the police team here are actually having a hard time trying to convince members of that crowd to actually come into these premises so that at least they can continue with their protest. Like if you heard what the man that was just standing by my side here saying, they are scared to actually come into a confined place like this because they think if they come into this confined place, they may be subjected to some kind of harassment and attack by some people, because of course we've had some guys around who are saying that they are against the protest, and we're actually trying to turn some people back, that if they're coming for the protest, they better just go back to wherever they're coming from because they are against that. And their reason, OJ, is that they don't want a situation that could degenerate and end up most likely or probably like the NSAS protest ended that time, leading to those destruction of lives and property, like you people in the studio were talking about just earlier on before you came to me.
Okay,
yes, Dr. Abati.
But from what we're seeing, I mean, that park looks unkept. Yeah. So, I mean, that itself, it may be a source of discouragement. You never know what reptiles are lurking around the place.
It is an issue here, really. In fact, majority of or some of the guys, some of the protesters who have actually peeped into this place said no, there's no way they will come into a place that is this bushy. I mean, the grass is not being cut for some time.
I thought the protesters, when they informed the state government, they said Governor Sanwo-Olu should make sure he cuts the grass in that place, and I should also provide them with buses, transportation to the convergence points. So the government just ignored them. They couldn't even cut grass for them.
I mean, clearly that's the situation, really. We never really had any official statement as to that request from the protest, the Take It Back movement that was after the court ruling on Tuesday, saying they wanted air-conditioned buses to actually convey them from different convergence points where they will now proceed to Ojota. And I guess that was what was responsible for them just gathering somewhere at Ikeja under bridge, from where my colleague Oba reported from, and making that their procession down here. So I'm not sure government actually listened to them, because if they had, it will have been reflected here. This place will have been put in a better place than what we have here today, Dr. Abati.
All right.
From what we are seeing, some of the leaders of the protesters are still saying that somehow they find their way into this place. Maybe when the larger crowd that is coming in from Ikeja under bridge actually joins them here, they will come into the Freedom Park.
All right, thank you very much, Tokunbo Oyetunji. And please do stay away from reptiles. I mean, watch out for reptiles right there. But I believe we have Georgina Ndukwe Ezeinka right now in Abuja, bringing us up to speed. Georgina, good morning. I believe that we have reports that, protesters were tear gassed by police earlier today. Bring us up to speed.
Well, just quite unfortunate. We're trying to get ourselves together, and that's because...
All right, good morning, Mariel. Good morning, Rufai, Dr. Abati. Okay, so I'm standing now in front of the Eagle Square, where we have the Federal Secretariat. We have all the 3 armed zones as well as entrance to the National Assembly. We have so many police officers armed and ready to, take charge in case anything happens. However, we had heard earlier from some journalists who were here that some people were, trying to gather, and they had to use tear gas to disperse them. But where I'm standing currently, there is no no protester in sight. There are no sign of tear gas. We just have the police officers stationed at different points, ensuring that people keep going and no gathering is formed whatsoever. That's what we have, what we're seeing right now.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Georgina. And please do stay safe out there. Rufai, I would like for us to even just go over the, I believe, the 12-point demand of the protesters. We saw one of them holding a placard. If we can pull up the 12-point demand there for us to read out to our viewers. They said, 1, revert to petrol pump price at 100 naira per litre. 2, combat insecurity. 3, close all IDP camps and resettle the campers. 4, total electoral reform. 5, independent probe into the electoral budget of 355 billion naira. 6, immediate release of NSAS protesters still in detention. 7, implementation of living wage, minimum wage of 300,000 naira. 8, compulsory free education from primary to secondary school. 9, children of public school holders must attend public schools in the country. 10, government must patronize made in Nigeria goods. 11, transition to unicameral legislation. 12, judicial and constitutional review. Rufai, I believe that you want to make some pertinent points.
Yes, so I wanted to say some things. Number 1 is my response to Mr. Kalu, Mr. Benjamin Kalu, Honorable Benjamin Kalu. Honorable, do not make this about ethnic baiting. This protest has never been about Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa. It has been about, underline the word, Nigerians. And before I represent any of those ethnic groups, I am a Nigerian first. If I am to take your international passport, what is written there as nationality is Nigerian. Nigerians are the ones suffering and are the ones hungry. So this idea of telling Igbos not to go out and protest and all of that, no, let's not divide ourselves here. Right. As regards those demands pretty much, segue into the aspirations of a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, all right. We will continue to bring our viewers up to speed regarding the End Bad Governance in Nigeria protest. I'd like to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.